% in 2020. The figure is, however, still low compared to the savings ratio in China at 45.7%, India 31.4%, as well as Uganda and Tanzania, which have already crossed the 20% mark. Brenda Kerubo speaks to Ireneus, Gichana, CEO of Maisha Microfinance Bank, on this week's Captains of Industry.
Maisha Microfinance Bank was officially launched in September 2016 to offer micro, small and medium enterprises better access to cash to grow their businesses. The bank received its operational license from Central Bank of Kenya on 26 June 2016 as the 13th microfinance bank in Kenya. Ireneus Gichana joined Maisha Microfinance Bank Limited in September 2015 as founding chief executive officer and executive director. Previously, Gichana worked at Faulu Microfinance Bank Limited as head of operations between 2010 and September 2015. He also worked with Standard Chartered Bank of Kenya Limited in various positions, including head of branch operations and service delivery, responsible for the branches network, and also worked as risk enhancement project manager for East Africa. Ireneus, Gichana, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. We really appreciate, and it's super duper awesome to have you on Captains of Industry this week. When you look at Kenya's savings culture, how exactly has it evolved over time?
We've had a lot of overemphasis on loans consumption. So a lot of noise is more around, take loans. Customers are being asked to take loans. So partly this is contributing to the low uptake of loans. And obviously in the current situation, the pandemic has also affected people's ability to save, because the pandemic came with its own challenges. Yeah, so we're coming from a situation where saving culture has not been generally good compared to loans uptake. So we want this to be at the same level.
And talking about the pandemic, we are having most people now who are facing job cuts, and also they are facing pay cuts. So how do you save in such an environment?
Businesses are bouncing back, cash flows. People are still putting a meal on the table. Of course, not everybody, but it's possible. I mean, people are able to move from one place to another. Of course, there's a bit of struggle, but we can see the economy is bouncing back, so it is possible. Yeah, people are still earning salaries, those who are lucky to be still jobs. Those who, business is thriving. Really, if you look around, it's not the way it was in March 2020. Yeah, so the situation is looking up.
So now we are in the fourth quarter of the year. What was the most difficult part about doing business in the last 3 quarters?
Well, the challenges of, coming back from 2020. 2020 was a big hit, and nobody was spared in 2020. The pandemic really hit all sectors across board. And so that transition from COVID, the COVID, when COVID was at its peak, to when the economy is bouncing back, I think that to me is says whatever transition, yeah.
But definitely we're going on an outlook basis, you're going to see more increased activity?
You can see matatus are moving up and about. When we were in the worst bit of COVID-19, movement was almost restricted. Lockdowns were happening almost every so often, and that obviously crumbled the economy a bit. But now we can see there is a bit of activity. Hotels are operating normally.
What exactly does it take to work for a bank? What skills do you need to have?
Number one, you need passion, because you can't work in a bank if you don't have passion, if you are the kind of dull person. And then, of course, you need you need some basic education, at least depending on the role. Yeah, different roles have different requirements. If you're working in ICT in a bank, you'd require a different skill set. If you're working in the bank as a teller, you require a different skill set. If you are in the position of a CEO like myself, you know, there's a skill set and experience also that goes with that. Head of finance. So it depends on what role you're serving in the bank. So different skills and levels of experience are required for each cadre of staff.
So if you had an opportunity to change your career, what would you pick?
I have passion for farming.
Oh.
Yeah. I would be one of the great farmers
in the country.
Yes, I would start building a career towards being a farmer because I admire. And also because, you know, it's a space that has not been exploited. So I like challenges because every time you hear about food insecurity, so it's a problem that we can deal with because I can carve my space in farming. Yes.
Well, it's that time that we close our business today. You know what I'm looking forward to this month? Sincerely, Anthony Joshua was beaten by Alexander Usyk. Now we are having Fury versus Wilder 3. I can't wait. On the 9th of October, I hope that the best player wins. Well, I'm Nokip Kimboy. Thank you very much for watching Business Today.